It's the camera all the kids have been talking about. It does everything. It slices, it dices, makes you your beautiful photographs, it makes you your beautiful video. It does everything but make you your breakfast in the morning. It's got all your fancy dials like the old one. Yeah, for both your custom video and photographs. It's got your dust and your moisture resistance. Look at them there, you even got them there jingly jangly strap triangles, so you can learn to play the tambourine like you always wanted to. And you can join that friend's band, one who told you got no musical talent. Look at here, a single card slot to record your once-in-a-lifetime memories. What's wrong, you need more than one card slot? You got yourself a heart condition or something? Come on! Who wants to live forever anyway? Eat your bacon. Eat everyone's bacon. I haven't even told you the best part yet. You'll be saving the planet. Every time you buy a new A6700, Sony be making them cameras out of them their Solarplast. Solarplast is a new kind of plastic made out of them their recycled old 7 Years in Tibet DVDs and then Menudo CDs and your plastic water bottles. Yeah. What if your photographing, videographing career don't work out? Don't worry, we got you covered. If you order now while supplies last, we'll send you this free potato peeler. So you can join the high demand field of potato peeling anytime you like after things don't work out. If things don't work out, which I'm sure they will.
I'm reinventing myself. I'm me and nobody else. Ooh, I can't help but smile.
Hey there everybody, welcome to the Humble Studio once again. Today I'm reviewing the A6700, and the review part of that comes with a question mark afterwards, because some of you may know I don't do actual reviews. I basically just go and use something and then give you my take on what I think. And well, here goes my pseudo review. If you want a real review, go watch Gerald Undun's video, or Mark Bennett, I'm mentioning those guys because they're Canadian, right? Because I'm Canadian too. Anyway, so this camera has been absolutely fantastic. And the reason I bought this, I'm shooting with the FX30 right now. So one of the reasons is these two cameras share the same sensor. So I knew that matching colors and things, if I happen to be using these interchangeably, I can always match the color up, no problem. I'm very accustomed to the sensor in the FX30. I've already been doing a lot of paid work with it. That's why that camera's not going anywhere. It's got the two card slots, confidence there. I've been doing photography and video with the FX30. Absolutely no apprehensions about that whatsoever. My intention was that when I'm out in the world, that means not here, doing the YouTube thing, much lighter setup, and also for the travel stuff, because my girlfriend Marmar and I, we like traveling, and when we do that, there's usually a travel film attached to that, and I wanted something far lighter than the FX30 to be doing that with. My last travel camera was the A7C, beautiful camera. But since I went back to APS-C, back to as light as possible, as far as the lenses go, because the A7C is not a heavy camera, far lighter than the FX30 again as well. And my FX30, most of the time, it's got a cage on it and everything else, even though it's got those little cheese holes there, the mounting points everywhere on it. I still run it with a cage. I've got a little strap for my hand on the thing, and when I bring it out to do client stuff, I got a matte box on there, you name it, it's on there. But lately I've been using that for the channel, and when I'm out on the street and stuff and testing lenses or whatever, I've been shooting with the FX30 without all the stuff on it. Anyway, so the A6700, I never intended to be using this for paid work, but it so happens that I recently did. A week ago, I shot an event with this. There's a client that I've been shooting some architectural photography for with my FX30, believe it or not. And so he had an event that he needed shot, and so called me, in a pinch, knew that I'm not an event photographer per se, and I, had just got my hands on this. Some of you may know I've been waiting for this for a little while. I was on a waiting list with VizTech. VizTech's a big camera store here in Canada, like a chain. To the detriment of my wallet's health, VizTech is next door to me. And the same time they said this camera was the same time this used 15mm f1.4 arrived from Japan. By the way, Ito, that's my brother-in-law. He's been making like comments, all anonymous like, on some of my videos. Thank you, Ito. You're helping my, the YouTube algorithm out there for me. But his criticism was of my last video that I didn't mention the actual weight between the Sigma and the Sony, like the reason I went with the Sony. So here it is on the screen, because I can't remember the numbers, that's for sure. So there you go, bases covered. I was being lazy or something on that, because normally I would put that up on the screen, or I would mention the actual numbers. And he also wanted me to mention like where I bought the lens used, and so that was eBay. You don't find a lot of deals on this lens. It's not all that old. A lot of people want it, and it's a fortune new. These two together are an awesome combination. Super lightweight and perfect for event photography. Overlooking, of course, the fact it's only got one card slot. About the one card slot thing, was I feeling apprehensive about shooting with only one card slot? No. I've actually never had a card, I know I've been lucky, but I haven't had a card fail, at least not in camera. I was transferring files once at an event from a reader to a laptop, and I think there was a connection problem that happened there, and that corrupted the file, or the card. It was 100% recoverable anyway, so in my history of shooting digital, which has been since the advent of digital photography, have I ever lost anything? No, not once. If I were the king of the world, I would make a law that all cameras have dual card slots. Flippy screen over the head, arm up like this, arm didn't even get sore, 4+ hours shooting. No issues whatsoever. About the flippy screen, by the way, there was a woman who, I won't mention her name, I believe she's a professional studio photographer, and she was cutting and pasting the same comment into the comments of all the initial reviews that came out for this camera, saying that, we're all waiting for, Sony to get rid of the flippy screen. Like, she was not a fan of the flippy screen. And it's so funny because people like us have been waiting for years for Sony to implement the flippy screen, and she's saying that we all want Sony to get rid of it. I think she was perhaps hoping that the A7R5 screen would make it to this camera, which is like not just a flippy screen, but it flips up and flips down and everything. I think that's kind of I think that's wishful thinking for a camera at this price point. I don't think that screen will ever make its way to this series of camera. I could be wrong, it's possible. I know that all of Sony's higher end cameras will likely be getting that mechanism, but I don't think that you'll ever see it in this. It would also mean this camera getting a little bit bigger, I believe, because that mechanism, I think, takes up a little bit more room. So anyway, but I'm digging this too. Like, I mean, the screen itself could be like of a better quality, I suppose. I have no problem at all with this EVF, because I didn't have a problem with the EVF in A7C, so I'm certainly not going, the original A7C, so I'm not going to have an issue with the EVF in this. Now, I will say the quality of the screen could probably be a little bit better, brighter, sharper, what have you, because, I'm accustomed to the FX30 screen, which is absolutely brilliant. Of course, I, lost that iCup almost immediately, right? And so I'm gonna have to order a new one from Sony, which will take forever. And yeah, some people would complain about this grip not being long enough, not enough room for the pinky. I have small hands, not an issue for me. This little bump here, turning the camera sideways, this way, that way. I was actually developing a blister here in my hand, but then again, you know, sweaty hands shooting over 4 and something hours, heavy modifier attached to my flash. Yeah, something's, you know, there's gonna be something, right? But not a big deal. And I'm glad this was here too, otherwise I would have been dropping this thing. So that doesn't really bother me. Some people though, like I said, are gonna complain. Some people are gonna complain though about the fact that this grip isn't a little bit longer for the pinky finger. Now there's gonna be some caveats. Sony's trying to make this camera as small as possible. I mean, that's why we've only got the 1 card slot, right? Limbs design, big fan of the company. They made a case for the A7C, which I bought. Beautiful leather half case. I know some people aren't into that. You may have some ethical reasons not to go with a leather half case. You may not like the look. It's a little bit polarizing. Not everyone's going to want a retro look for a modern camera. I really dig the whole retro thing. I want a limbs case for this as well. And one of the reasons being is the limbs cases have a machined aluminum plate on the bottom, which actually does extend the grip a little bit, makes it a little bit more comfortable to hold these small cameras. And I've been doing a little back and forth with limbs because they haven't got their A6700 case ready yet. They have a bit of a supply chain issue currently, and they're promising that at the end of this month, which is just, you know, 3 days from now, that they'll have the 6700 case ready, and I would love to get one for this camera. Another cool thing about the limbs case is, you know, with that machined aluminum plate that they've got on the bottom, is that it's got the built-in Arca Swiss, which allows you to put the camera down without it rocking all over the place. Protects the bottom. You always have that Arca Swiss on there. It's also threaded for a tripod if you want to put it on a tripod that doesn't have an Arca Swiss receiver on it. There you go. Right, so my overall take with this thing, wow, no buyer's remorse whatsoever. I love this camera. I'm really looking forward to traveling with it as well. These two together, so light, you know, shooting an entire night with the same lens as well, worry-free, nailing the focus in those eyes with the AI autofocus, and shooting f4, f5 pretty much all night. And could have maybe bumped up my ISO a little bit, because looking at the files later, I'm like, wow, these images are like so clean. Like it just all looked so good. As usual, I hope you guys got something out of this one. If so, consider leaving me a thumbs up. If not, that's okay too. If you want to make sure you don't miss any of these, please consider subscribing. If not, that's cool as well. If you've got any ideas for future episodes, please leave those in the comments below. And until next time, keep working to make your chosen idea a reality. Peace. So you can land the plane. Look at them there. Look at that. Look.